No.
Where's the camera? Where are we looking?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's just me. Don't worry about it. There's like three shoots. We're good. Okay. We're good. We'll just now we just wait. Ho, we're on. Hi. Hey, welcome everyone to Lunch Break with ATI. I'm Cindy Collins. I'm one of the co-founders of Actors Theater of Indiana, the professional resident theater company at the Center for the Performing Arts here in good old Carmel, Indiana. And today, my guest is Carrie Holle.
Hello.
And in the past few weeks, it has been all the people, politicians, if you will, because I guess that's what they are if you're running for an office. But it's been every week we've had someone different on that's running for the Carmel City Council. But today we have a little respite from that. And we have Carrie Holle. Carrie is not running for city council. No, she probably could.
You don't want me to run.
She probably could. Yeah. We've been chatting. I'm thinking, well, I'd vote for you.
Oh, thanks.
But Carrie is a real estate agent here, correct?
I am.
In Carmel.
Yeah.
And we kind of know each other through Lori Shanahan. Give a shout out
to Lori.
Shout out to Shanahan, who we are both friends with. So and Lori was on the ATI Guild for a while, and she's a hoot, and we adore her. Mm-hmm. And you guys are like besties.
We are. I'm more her friend than she's my friend.
Well, it's going well so far. That sounds like a good relationship.
No, we love each other. Yeah.
Good. Well, tell me, you said, we were talking before we were on the air here, and you grew up in Chicago.
Yep.
Went to Purdue.
Yes.
And stayed.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So...
Yes. It was supposed to be a pit stop, and I'm here like 30 some odd years later. Right. Yeah.
It says I went there, I stayed. But what, okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What made you stay? Right? What made you not go back up to Chicago? Because what did you major in school?
Broadcast journalism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well,
give me the skinny.
Nobody agreed that I should be a broadcaster. I was the only one. I thought I was set. I had internships at WTHR and Fox 59 and a couple local Lafayette stations, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, you and I were talking about your professor, a teacher helping you. I had a professor at Purdue, and he's like, I'm going to get you, I'm going to make you a star. And then I got one job offer at an easy listening radio station in South Bend.
Okay.
And I said, I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't do it.
All right.
So I followed a boy who is not my husband to Indianapolis.
I wonder where he is today.
Oh, I know where he is, but that's neither here nor there. I was like, I will never live in Indiana. In fact, this is such a funny story. My parents were moving to Richmond, Virginia when I was graduating from high school. And
so they moved. Done.
They
Virginia.
moved. Yep. And we went to, all the campuses in Virginia, UVA, William and Mary, University of Richmond, like such great schools.
All really good schools.
But I was a know-it-all 17-year-old, and I rebelled, and I said, you can't make me move to Virginia.
Yeah.
And I'm an only child, and so I had a little more freedom and flexibility in my choice.
Did you want to be closer to Chicago still?
I just wanted to be close to my friends, but they were going everywhere. So looking back on it, it didn't even make sense.
Weren't you guys all spreading to the winds and going to different universities?
Even make sense.
But you probably just, I know what it's like. You're 17. I was the same way. You're like, I am going to make my own decision. I'm off on my own.
Totally.
I am my independence. Like I was chomping at the bit on my independence. Yeah.
And I really came down to, I applied to a bunch of schools, and it must have been like a Christmas break or something. A bunch of boys that were older than me came back to town and said, you have to go to Purdue we'll get you into all the best sorority pre-rushes. And I said, sold.
Oh, God.
And my dad said, please, I'm begging you. If you're going to go somewhere. Like, just don't settle on going to school in Indiana. He said, go study marine biology in Hawaii.
Oh, my God.
He's like, go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Because he said it. Your parents say, you're like, I'm not going to do that. Right.
And then I get to Indiana, or I get to Purdue, and I'm in Indiana, and I'm like, oh my God. Where am I?
Wait, did you do a sorority? Were you in a sorority?
I did. I did that whole thing, and it was fun. And
Yeah.
But I mean, that literally shaped my future, which my future turned out okay. But I didn't. Going to Purdue for broadcast journalism was not the right move.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if that's really what I wanted to do, that was not the right choice.
Yeah.
Chalk it up to being dumb.
Well, I mean,
as a
that's life. Well, you learn,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just experience. That's just like you learn from all that, and hopefully you do learn from it.
Yeah.
And, you move forward, and obviously your life has turned out pretty damn great.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
and you live in Carmel now.
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the who are you with?
It's called the Carrie Holle group.
It's yours.
Yep.
It is yours.
Well,
You're the boss.
Yes. Lori works for me, so I get to tell her what to do.
Okay, I'm sure that goes over well. But
yes, so I got into real estate shortly after I graduated, working for a new home builder, and then this was like in the mid 90s, and then right around 1999. Thought, let's leave, and I grabbed my husband, who was also working at the builder, and my friends, and I'm like, let's start our own real estate company.
Yeah. Huh?
And
good for you.
And we did.
Yeah.
And that went well until I found out I was pregnant and had 3 children, 3 boys, boom, boom, boom.
Oof. Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm never going to sell real estate again a day in my life. I'm going to stay at home for a little bit, and then I'm going to do something really exciting and flashy and awesome. And then 2008 came.
Oh, right. Yes.
And the market
Everything was tanking.
collapsed.
Yes.
And we were like, I've got to go back to work. And the only thing I know how to do is sell houses.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, you're in a good area to do it.
Yeah,
And it's just getting as Carmel's grown, I would think, it's just getting better and better and better. Well,
but
we're
tell
insulated
me, here, so we don't see, so everybody's like, oh, but home prices went up. What people have to understand, and in central Indiana, we've never really seen true appreciation in our housing market. Okay. Other parts of the country see it. They go up, sometimes they go down. Yeah. We were seeing, it's more of inflation. We were going up 1% to 3% a year. Historically, that's what houses do in central Indiana, which is not true appreciation. So then COVID came, and I thought we were going to go through 2008 again, and I'm like, I'm too old. I can't do this again.
Yeah.
And just the opposite happened, which was insane.
Yeah.
And then we finally saw some true appreciation.
Good.
And it continues, and now we're in a situation where there's no inventory nationally, really. Mm-hmm. And until that kind of balances, until we get enough houses for people to buy, prices will continue to go up, and we really don't see an end in sight.
Mm. Do you just do the houses? Do you do any of the apartments that are for sale? Do you cover everything? You're just doing residential homes?
Residential, condos, townhomes, but residential.
Okay, mostly.
To purchase.
Right.
Our rental market here, as far as single-family homes to rent, is really slim. I have people who move here from other parts of the country, and they're like, we don't know where we want to live.
So they want to rent for a while?
But then I show them what that looks like, because housing is so affordable here that most people just buy. And so
me with the rent, and a lot of people, listen, you have to rent. You're renting an apartment. That's still, you're renting an apartment. Some people obviously can't afford to buy a home. Do you think about that renting and just throwing that money down the toilet
and
not investing
prices,
in anything, you know, because a home is an investment, and a home is to be invested in and to be made better.
Right.
Like when you buy a place,
yeah,
that's your goal as a homeowner, to make that property better.
Well, what's interesting is we're finding,
property. That's what my father always
absolutely. But you know what? The younger generations, they are transient. They do not want to be tied down.
Well, not until they get older.
I know, but think about it. Like, you know, that was the thing. I think I bought my first home in my mid-20s, and I think that was just kind of like the thing. But well, I was also in the industry.
You were in the business, right?
But you know, I think in our generations, we've always been taught, you know, buy. And the younger generations, they're like, I want to drop and go. Like, I want to move on. I want to try this place. I mean, they're job hopping more than we did.
Yeah, stepping stones to what they possibly to
or
what they,
just maybe boredom and I want to try this and I want to try that.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing less of the Gen Zers.
I love these things.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, Gen X.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Yeah. Well, we're Gen X.
I am?
Yeah.
I'm a Gen X?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I think you're a Gen X.
Okay.
I'm a Gen X.
Okay.
My kids call me a
label
boomer.
myself, Carrie.
Well, you're a Gen Xer. But the younger generations, they're not. First of all, it's very hard for them to buy because of affordability reasons.
I think it's difficult to buy. Period. I mean, listen, it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
When we bought our home here, when Judy and I bought our house here, I was like, do I have to give you my blood?
Yeah.
Type. Do I have to give you a set? What else do you want?
I know.
That's how I felt.
I know.
We did. We went through. We were like, what else do you need? We can't give you a child.
I know,
firstborn. You know, it's like God.
But those are also safety precautions because in the 90s we were selling financing, not homes. So somebody would come into my model, and I'd say, "Do you have a pulse?" Yes, perfect. So we had zero down payment program. We had no income verification, so we didn't even have to verify that you had actual income coming in.
Yay.
We had something called the HEART program, where you could roll up to $10,000 of your debt, credit card debt, into your mortgage payment. And we were selling adjustable rates. So I'm like, single-handedly,
this all
I helped
sounds
bring
like a catastrophe.
Well, it was in 2008. This was what contributed to the downfall of the industry.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, you just had to have a pulse, and I'd be like, perfect. These are the 3 floor plans you can afford at $450 a month. Pick which one you want. This is your lot. Bada bing, sign. We're done.
Yeah.
That's how we sold houses back then. So this is why they make you do this now.
Right, and I get it.
Yeah.
But we were just like,
I'm
like, I said, we're like, we're not moving. I can't.
No,
like,
I know.
Like, just carry me out.
I know.
The front door, because I can't go through this, right? And then we were talking about looking for apartments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For our daughter at IU.
Right.
An apartment for her. Your son's up in Chi-Town in a apartment that you just told me about that he's paying.
Rats nibbling on the wall.
Right, and they're not paying any rent. They're living for free, the rats.
Yeah,
and so
right.
they're living easy.
Yeah.
And he's footing the bill. But but how expensive that is in the college towns and where the university is, of course, because they know they gotcha. They know your kid's got to live somewhere. Yeah. And I thought, these are New York prices with some of these
everything is now, you know. And so I know a lot, especially with the election coming up and everybody's talking about affordable housing. And the problem is, as far as Carmel's concerned, is there's no land left. And so the more scarce land becomes, the more expensive it is. And so this is why you see all of this new construction in Westfield. There's a ton. Westfield's having a building boom now because they had a bunch of land.
Yes.
Carmel does not. And so I really struggle with how we create, people are like, we're going to create affordable housing. That's what we're going to do. how? This is my industry, and I feel pretty savvy and knowledgeable in it. I would love somebody to explain to me how, aside from building more apartments and multifamily, like single-family homes, how?
Where? Basically, yeah, where?
And building costs have gone through the roof.
Well, everything's gone up since COVID. Everything.
Everything.
Lumber, wood, everything, all the product
Yeah.
has gone up. And we, as a theater company, we saw that. Our designers, our set would be like, hey, lumber's up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going down.
Yeah.
So those prices are up.
Lumber finally came down.
Yeah, but not like it was.
And then everything else went up.
So I don't think it's going back to. I don't think those prices are going.
I don't believe so.
I think it's staying.
I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah. And so that's hard too. That makes it more expensive too, right? With the builders, the contractors.
Well, yeah.
All the materials.
And people, our median price point in Carmel firmly for years was between like that $400,000 and $500,000 range. You could find anything you wanted in that price range. That was the sweet spot. Now I show people what they can get in that price range, and they're like, "Oh God." We go back to the the expectation has to adjust. Like a production home in Carmel right now will cost you anywhere from $700,000 to $1 million.
Yes,
a production home, and a custom home will cost much more than that. Like one of the last neighborhoods in Carmel is Asherwood, the old Simon property. Those lots, those are big estate lots.
Yes.
We're selling the lots for $600.
Well, that's Asherwood. I've been on that property. I've been in that home.
Yeah.
When before it was sold again. Okay. And it was like, oh my God, there's so much property, of course. And the home itself, I was like, oh, it's very overwhelming. It's huge. Yeah. Which I'm sure they'll make a clubhouse or something.
Somebody purchased it and redid it.
So they purchased the home. Someone actually purchased the home privately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. There's a lot in there.
It's big. It's big. And but we're finding that it's big houses. We went through a phase where they wanted something small. Small lots, small houses. And then that went by the wayside. So now everybody wants big houses, big lots. And that's in vogue again. And so, and it's just not the young families doing it. I'm seeing empty nesters building. They're like, okay, now I've got the money. I've got financial freedom. I'm going to buy my dream home. I'm seeing a lot of that. Well, multi-generational families.
That's not bad. Nothing's bad about that. I mean,
Listen, it's your money.
Right, well, that's the thing, right?
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Life's short.
Yeah.
That's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
Do it. Go for it. And call me.
And walking through a house and seeing what it has and telling the people about it and being like, look at this fantastic place. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there still a thrill,
sometimes
with seeing a new home?
Sometimes.
Or
it has to be very unique and unusual for it to be thrilling to me. I think I've been doing this for 30 years.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, think about all the houses I've been in.
Right.
Like probably almost every house in Carmel. I mean, at one point or another, I've been in. I couldn't even begin to guess how many homes.
Right.
So, a home is a home to me now, unless I see something that's really like show-stopping, and that doesn't have to be size, because I've been in some huge, expensive, new homes, and I'm like, cool, it's a house.
Right.
It has to have something really unique and interesting for me to really love it.
Do you like showing it when the people are totally out of the house and moved, empty, like a pallet, like a just an empty canvas, Or do you mind if they're still there and it's furnished and their stuff is there, and you know what I mean? How do you think that makes a difference? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's better to show a house when there's
furnished,
other people's
depending on what the furniture looks like. Yeah, we stage every house. I'm really very particular when it comes to listing a home, and I would say I sell more houses as a listing agent as opposed to being boots on the ground, taking people through 100 houses.
Okay.
Like, I'm very old and tired for that. So I definitely still do it.
Carrie Holle, old and tired.
I am old.
Come
I'm
to
an
our-
old Gen Xer. I'm an old Gen Xer. But so when it comes to listing, I'm very particular. So
Yeah.
I just
good.
I bring in a stager.
Yeah. I think that's
you
great.
know, and if the furniture is
I think that's
not,
a smart thing to do.
if you can't work with the furniture,
Yeah.
we get the furniture out. We maybe bring some new stuff in,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm probably different than your average bear because I want it to be beautiful.
But I think that's great, and I think that is going the extra mile. Because you're kind of a perfectionist, it sounds like.
Well, and it makes everybody more money too.
Right.
I mean,
because a lot of people looking for a place won't have vision. They don't have vision.
They don't.
I'll walk into a home and it'll be like this. I don't care. I don't give a crap what's in it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I'm like, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this.
Yeah.
I could do this. Because it's an artist's mind, you know
yes,
what I mean?
and that's a very...
And a lot of people don't. They'll just walk in and be like, I don't like it. And you're like, wait a minute. You don't like it because maybe this couch is here.
Right.
Or this end table is somewhere where you wouldn't put it.
Yeah. I always tell my clients, my buyers, the buyers who have the vision get the best deal on the home. Because most people can't see it,
right.
and the house sits there.
Right.
But then once in a while I'll have a client like you that will come in and say, I see it. And I'm like, you're going to get a discount on this house because no one else can see it.
Right.
It shouldn't probably go on the market looking like that to begin with, but because it has, you win as a buyer because you can see what the house can be.
Have you ever been in some houses that, maybe not now, but maybe when you were first starting out, and you guys first started out, that you were in some houses where you're like, I can't believe people live here? Because I've seen some houses like that when we were looking for homes.
I still do that.
And we went, or we would go in and be looking at a house, and I thought, how can someone live here?
It doesn't matter what price point it's in. I say it all the time. Just when I think I've seen everything, I see something else. We're like, oh my God, put it on the list. It's like, it doesn't matter how little or how much money somebody has, you could not believe some of the stuff that I've seen.
I mean, we went to a house once, and it was one of the houses we were looking at. I went with our real estate agent, and the house was empty. They had left. It was gone. It was totally empty, and it looked like basically a fight had happened in that room.
I
and,
mean,
it was almost like it was ransacked.
Totally. Old food on plates, unmade beds, dirty underwear, it's really, and you're always like, how do people, that makes me itch.
Right, me too.
I can't leave the house without my bed made.
Right.
That I just don't understand how.
Yeah.
But to each his own.
And then we
no
walk into
offense
some
to
house.
anybody who doesn't make their bed. That's fine.
But then but it's everything you've seen, right? You've run the gamut. You've seen everything
you can imagine,
and everything you've seen.
Mannequins, like posed mannequins that are like sitting at the kitchen table. I've seen everything.
Oh my gosh!
Everything.
Hey, there's never a dull moment, right? I mean, it keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, you know.
I guess that's a good way to put it.
Well, I think it's to me it would, even though you're like, oh my gosh, it makes it interesting. You know what I mean? It makes it interesting. You still have the chutzpah, from that to keep going and to keep doing real estate.
Yeah, and I think, like all of these real estate shows have really done my industry a disservice because it shows us being like tour guides, like, oh, you want to see a house and bringing people through homes and showing houses. Houses themselves are secondary to what I actually do.
Well, you have to do a lot more. Right. Like you're showing the home, but then
there's so much legal.
Exactly.
People have no idea the amount of stress in detail. Everything is very time sensitive. You miss one word, like you use an and instead of a but. we could be looking at a lawsuit. I mean, it's
and you're dealing with money.
A lot.
You're dealing with money. You have to be very good. You have to be very good with money. You have to be very smart with money. Like you do.
Yes, I need to make sure that I'm representing a client well, to make sure that they're not over purchasing or they're, if something comes up in an inspection and I didn't address it properly, guess who? I mean, there's just.
I think the real estate agent really gets the brunt of stuff like, why isn't our house selling? Well, our house is not selling. We want it to sell faster.
Right.
I can't find a place. You can't find a place for me. I mean, that's got to happen all the time. I mean, people get antsy. They get impatient. They get like, why isn't the house selling? Why can't?
Yeah.
And what? Listen, I what I was told is, look, what when. You're going to know when you find your house.
Right.
You're going to know it. You're going to know it.
Right.
You're going to know it. And she was right.
Yeah.
She was right.
Yeah, that's the easy part, though. Finding the house and selling the house, that's the easy part. It's getting from that point to the closing table where everything is crazy. And we don't share that with our clients because they don't, this is why they've hired us.
Right. Take care of all the nitty-gritty. It's all the nitty-gritty.
So much nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah.
7 days a week, I have clients call me at 6 a.m. I have clients call me. I had a couple messages between 11 p.m. and midnight last night.
Yeah.
It's
I believe
it's
it.
just, it's a life.
Yeah.
It's a life.
Yeah,
You know, I know what I signed up for, but it's a life.
Right.
And I don't think it's represented the way it really is when people see these shows on TV.
Yeah, it's hard work. I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's out, and I only know because we bought a home, and and we did know everything because we had to go through so much. So we did know everything our real estate agent was going through too. We just knew, and it's like it's a ton. So you have to kind of be more than one person, right? You have to be the
therapist.
The house.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a huge part of the
midnight. Job. You have to be, absolutely on it with the paperwork. You got to be, you have to totally
trying
be
to keep everybody out of court.
Everybody happy, and then you have to be lovely.
Right.
That's right. You gotta be lovely.
Yes, and then you have to market yourself. Put your picture on a park bench, and
buses,
and everyone's like, "Oh, they're a bunch of narcissists." I'm like, "How else are we getting business? There are 10,000 realtors in Indianapolis."
Yeah, because that's a lot of.
You have to stick out.
That's true because it's a lot of things. People are like, "I'm going to go into real estate."
Oh yeah,
I hear it all the time. What are you doing? Well, I'm gonna get my realtor's license. I'm like, okay. Ooh, that's hard.
I'm the collector of I used to be the collector of lost souls. So if somebody's like, "All the kids have gone off. I got my real estate license. I'm going to come work for you."
Yeah.
I learned very quickly that is not that wasn't going to work. So,
all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. And thank you. This has been great.
Yes,
thank you so much, Carrie.
yes.
Carrie Holle, if you're selling your home or looking for one.
Or you just want to talk.
You need to call somebody at
You
midnight.
just want to laugh. Come over and laugh.
Just give her a call.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. And don't forget, coming up for Actors Theater of Indiana is ATI's Greatest Hits Volume 2. That is on October 28th, which is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And that's, we have a bunch of, there will be a bunch of performers coming back from past productions and doing a number from those productions. I'm going to be doing one. So I will be partaking in that. And so will Judy Fitzgerald, and we have Kenny Shepard and Tim Hunt, and oh my gosh, so many other wonderful people that have worked with Actors Theater of Indiana. So October 28th, you can go to our website, atistage.org, or call the box office, 317-843-3800. And also, season subscriptions are on sale and single tickets are on sale. So things are happening for ATI. So hop on board. Thank you so much, Cindy Collins. I'm one of the co-founders here at ATI. Thanks for joining us, and thank you again, Carrie.
Yes.
See you next week.
Bye.